We're gonna swim back and run in the Kona sun. We're gonna swim back and run in the Kona sun and breakfast with Bob.
Honcho Man, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Bob. This is our 10th anniversary. We are brought to you by HOKA, One, Polar, UCAN, Velofix, Normatec Active Canyon Form Goggles, and Puma Four Seasons Resort Hualalai. And we're again at beautiful Huggo's on the Rocks. Our next guest, two-time Ironman 70.3 World Champion, 2014 Ironman World Champion, one of our favorite people on the planet. Give it up for Sebastian Kienle. This has changed a little bit, huh? Remember we used to be on the other side? It'd be me and you and John with a little baby camera, and it's...
Don't make me feel old, Bob.
You have no idea about old. I'm old. You're a young boy.
Yeah, but I start to feel a little bit older now, coming back for, I think, the 8th year.
Is this
now.
the 8th year?
7th year, 8th year. I have to search
You
my wife. She's counting. I'm not counting anymore.
Yes. So when I watched you at Nice, and I know you weren't happy with your swim, but 109, the second fastest run of the day, ran faster than Bart Aernouts, Alistair Brownlee, Javier Gomez. I mean, these are great runners. Obviously, your running has come a long way. What have you been doing differently, and were you happy with that?
Probably biking too slow.
Biking too slow. Is that
maybe? No, I mean that's probably really part of the reason that I, especially in Nice, that I just didn't really. Put out enough energy on the bike, and therefore I have been in a not very favorable position starting the run. But there was enough energy left to go fast on the run, and the same thing goes for Submarine earlier in the year. The bike was like really bad, and therefore I had a really good run. So it's a lot of balance, things, you know how it is. But of course, one of the reasons is. Since for 2014, I always struggled with Achilles problems. Not so this year, and therefore my running is like way better, more volume, more quality, everything's better. But you know how it is, a half marathon is just a different story than a marathon. Yeah,
and now you've been over in Maui doing some training, and we're seeing more and more people training over there. It's nice to be in a place that's different from where you're racing. Right, you come over here and spend a couple weeks, you almost get too comfortable. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know if I get too comfortable. I actually get too nervous probably. Training every day on the race course. At one point, it's very motivating, but being motivated every day can be a two-sided sword. You know, it guarantees a lot of quality in training, but it also wears you down mentally at one point. And I really have the feeling that we did a bunch of good work in Maui, but I didn't kill myself mentally, especially. So trying to avoid also the just the nervous vibes that are building up in the last weeks leading into this race earlier and earlier every year.
Right. Have you changed your schedule much over the years? I mean, it seems like every year is Frankfurt or Roth, where you won there. Does it change a lot or just a little bit each year in terms of what you're doing preparation-wise?
Yeah, not really. I want to race the big races, and the big races are for me 70.3 Worlds, Frankfurt or Ross and Hawaii. And therefore, if you have these three races, it's very limited what you can change around those races leading up to them, and focusing on them takes a certain planning. But next year there will definitely be some changes because the 70.3 World Championships moved behind Ironman Hawaii, and therefore I don't know if I'm gonna race it anymore. And then we'll see what that leads to regarding the schedule.
I know we say this every year, oh my God, the field is great. But now you have another a two-time Olympic gold medalist in Alistair Brownlee, Jan Frodeno, who won 2 times in a row here, and then Patrick Lange, who's won 2 times in a row here, and then Bart Aernouts, who was second, and we can go on and on and on.
Yeah, the best field ever.
The best field ever since last year.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's the best field ever every year, and every year it's probably true. I mean, the field is just getting better and better. more dense, more athletes coming up to the long distance from the shorter distances, and yeah, therefore it's really really one of the best fields ever.
What I loved about Nice was the fact that you had Alistair Brownlee, you had a number of the ITU guys there, you had Ironman champions like yourself. Do you like that sort of mixture of, because it's hard to predict who's going to do what. Obviously the ITU guys, I feel, have a little bit of advantage because they're coming off with all that speed.
You mean here?
No, over there. It was like for 70.3.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, for me, 70.3 is really the reason why I love this so much is that you have the guys from all disciplines.
Yes.
You have the specialists like Rudi van Berg, Sam Appleton, and then you have the short course guys and, of course, the long course guys. And it's, it's just very nice to race those guys. And, it guarantees for exciting racing.
For you, it's been 5 years since you won this race, 2014. Do you use that? Do you think back to that when you come to this, when you come to 2019? I won here in 2014. I want that feeling again?
Yeah, it's time to refresh the memory a little bit, probably, this year.
Yes.
It's, I mean, it's a long time ago. And, but I still, when I look at pictures and stuff, it's so nice to bring back some of the memories, yeah.
And so after, when we look at, we've had Germans between you, Patrick, and Jan. You guys have won the last 5 here. So do we see that again? Do we see one of the 3 of you winning here again?
I would say the chances are 95%.
There we go. I like that. Have you, when you were over on Maui?
I'm just contributing probably 10% to these chances. So.
But yeah, you watched. Yeah, I know when you won in 14, you were obviously very concerned about Jan, and then he wins the next couple years, and you had some good races with him then, and you just raced him in Frankfurt, and you had a great race, and he had a better race. What is it about that guy that is so tough?
I wasn't really concerned. I was actually happy to have him. I mean, some days ago, somebody asked me, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if Jan would have never been born? You would have had like, I don't know, like two more World Championship titles and I don't know, 5 more European titles or something like that." But that's the thing, like a lot of people just don't understand the sport. No. I mean, that's not what it's about. I don't want to have an easy race. I don't want to have it handed to me. I want to win against the best, and to have somebody like Jan who's upping the game every year is also making me better. And there's no better feeling than beating Jan when he is at his very best day. And I've not done that yet, in my opinion. So therefore, I hope he's
You
around.
hope he has his best day?
Yeah, I hope he has his best day and that he stays around for another year at least.
So it's funny, last year we were all watching 70.3 Worlds in South Africa, and we watched him run 106 off the bike, and Alistair run 107, and Javier run a 108, and everybody's like, oh my God, Jan is just going to come here and crush it. And then he pulls out injured, and we're all, and I know someone like yourself, you were bummed. You wanted Jan here after running that 106 to see what it was going to be like to go head-to-head with him.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But there is a thin line between fit and fucked, and
there we go.
Therefore, that's also just part of the game. I mean, I know it very well that sometimes just the next step is the one you should have not done, you know, and so therefore it's very difficult to be at your absolute very best, but at the same time not overtrained or injured. So that's everybody knows that, and it's just part of the race to be even at the start line. And like every year, a lot of guys don't make it. Right.
You've, as somebody who basically grew up in this sport, right? You started racing when you were very, very young. Do you still love it? Is it something that every day you go, I can't wait to get out there and train, or is it sometimes a struggle?
Oh, it always is sometimes a struggle, but that's the reason why I still love it, because it's it's a struggle sometimes. If it's just all easy, then it would not be nice to lie on the couch afterwards for like hours in some sort of a coma. And I mean, having a chocolate bar under a hot shower after a 6-hour ride in the rain, it's... I never took any drugs in my life, but that's probably how heroin must feel. So therefore, I even love it more than I think when I started, because of course when you start, you're young, you think it's endless, like it's always going on. You always improve, and then at one point you realize, oh, now I probably have like 4 years, 5 years, and last year with the Achilles problems getting like really bad and made me pull out of the race, I realized, maybe it's not even 4 or 5 years, and that made me enjoy it even more. And also when I started, I had always this sort of like anger in me. I always wanted to win. That was the most important thing. Now I realize that I also love the everyday work, you know, just like the little things, improving every day, not just the wins.
How frustrating is that, knowing when you're dealing with the Achilles thing that you really can't put in the training you need to get better? Because like you said, that's what you gain every day is, I got a little better today. And you're sort of staying at the same level, or thinking, I've got to ride harder, I've got to swim harder, because I can't really do much with this Achilles.
Exactly, yeah, that's the most difficult thing, I think, for everybody. The first thing is you have to realize it's not just you. It's everybody has like issues every now and then. Some people have more, some less. And for me, the hard thing was I never have been like really dealing with any major injuries. And then having this, it was just horrible. And then you sort of like put your hand into the sand, and also don't work on your swim and the bike anymore, because you think this is doesn't matter anyway.
What's the point?
Because, yeah, exactly.
I can't run.
Exactly, and so with a couple of years with dealing this injury, I realized, actually it opens up opportunity to work on different spots, and taking this as an opportunity to improve like the weaker things, and it's always progress, and it's always something you have to work on. And now I realize that. Yeah. And so therefore I think that was one of the reasons why I start to like getting out of the pit of misery with the Achilles.
You've won Challenge Roth, you've won Frankfurt, you've won here, you've won basically every major event that's out there besides Olympics, right? I know. But is there one that means more to you? Is there a race that meant more to you than one of the wins, where it was like, I learned something about myself today that I didn't know?
Oh yeah, there is actually quite a lot. Some of them are just very small races where you have like, where you never really get to see behind the scenes story. Obviously, this race is what defines every athlete, because it's the cameras that are here, and the people that are here, and the sponsors that are here, and the money that comes with it, and everything along. But for me personally, I had races where nobody was really taking care, and they built me way stronger than this race did. Yeah, so sometimes it's not about the big races. Sometimes it's even the small races where you probably don't have a lot of reasons to push yourself to the limit, and that's where you learn for the big ones.
Do you go into this race, because obviously the competition is so steep, do you go into this race thinking about, okay, I've got to make sure I know where Jan is, I got to know where Alistair is, or do you just worry about you?
Both, yeah. You have to do both. You have to do your own race in some situations in the race, but then we always have a saying, there's two ways to win the race: to make the fastest time of all competitors, or to cross the finish line first. And you think, yeah, it's probably the same, but it's not really, because crossing the line first doesn't really mean that you have to race your own race. At some point you have to make a tactical decision, such as going hard on the bike or something like that, to break up a group. Yes. To post the fastest time, you never try. I mean, I would not start the first 100 meters absolutely all out for me in the swim. I would actually start pretty easy and try to build into the swim, you know. So it's always a mix between doing your own thing and realizing where everybody else is and what everybody else is doing and trying to take advantage of certain tactical situations.
You've raced Alistair Brownlee a few times. Your assessment of him as to how he's going to do here?
It's very difficult to predict. I mean, I can talk about a lot of guys and I probably have like pretty good predictions on them, but with Alistair, everything can happen.
Open book.
I mean, he can drop out on the run after 30K, heat stroke or something like that.
Yep.
He can absolutely kill himself out there or messing up his nutrition or something like that. I see him struggle a lot in the heat, and also his running style is probably not the best for marathon. But then on the other hand, he is just absolutely tough as nails, and that's what you need to be in this race. You just need to be able to suffer on another level than everybody else, and he definitely is. And then, of course, he brings the whole skill set. Like, he has no weakness. He can swim with the best. I mean, he can outswim Josh if he wants to. And there's no question that he has enough miles and enough in his legs to ride with the best on the bike, or even outright the best on the bike. And from his speed, there's no question that he is able to outrun everybody in the field. So therefore, it's very difficult to predict. Yeah.
With your buddy Lionel Sanders. He seems to be in a really good place. Nobody ever wants to see somebody get injured, but I think he's probably raced less this year and maybe is coming a little fresher. You've always, I remember back in the day when one year Lionel was doing, 80-mile runs and 80-mile rides and 15-mile hard runs a couple times a week going into this race and blew up. And then the next time he was way undertrained. And you basically told him, why don't you do something in the middle? And you might do okay, and he did.
I better shut my mouth.
You better shut your mouth because he got second, right? But when you look at him, and obviously you guys are, I think, a lot alike. In fact, you both like to go hard. It's not so much winning the race is great, but I just want to have a great hard race and make sure it's a great field. When you look at him for this year, what do you think?
This year I have him much higher on the list than last year. Last year everybody said he is probably going to be the man to beat. And he posted some sessions and I was just honestly just laughing because he was just an absolutely suicide mission. It was 100% sure that he is either not finishing the race or not even make it to the start line.
Yes.
So I wasn't even taking care of him before the race. This year it's a much different story. When nobody has him on the list, then he's probably going to be very, very dangerous. So therefore, this year I would say he is definitely one of the guys to watch out for.
His running looks better. He doesn't look like he's dragging his leg along with him. His running form looks a lot better.
It's not a catwalk out here. I mean, a lot of guys always in the race, like, you look better than him, you look better than him. But I lose fucking 10 seconds every mile. So
it doesn't matter what you look like.
It doesn't matter if he looks better than me or worse than me, but he is just running faster. That's the only thing that matters. If he's limping Lionel or if he is the Walking Dead, I don't care. If he's faster than me, then that's the only thing that matters. And so therefore, honestly, that's the thing with Lionel. It's not a beauty contest, you know. I mean, if he's winning it, doesn't matter how he looks on the run.
It was funny. Last year I was talking to Cam Worth after he raced you guys at Challenge Roth. And he said, I'm running along and Sebastian goes by me and I'm going, man, he looks awful. I'm sure he'll be dropping out. And it says Jesse Thomas goes by and he looks even worse. He'll be dropping out. I think you ran 2:42 and Jesse ran 2:44. And that's when Cam realized it isn't a beauty contest. You're not going to look good when you go by people.
Well, if he would have a mirror in that second, then I would say he would have probably looked the worst from us three. So
he did.
Nobody looks good out there usually, except probably one or two guys, and you're always like, how do they do it? Right. I have no clue, but
Patrick. Patrick Lange,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really the thing. Sometimes you feel like really, really bad, but you know, that's always the thing. If you feel bad, probably all the other guys feel bad too.
Absolutely.
If you look like really bad, and probably everybody else looks even worse. So therefore, if it goes really hard on the race, just think about that everybody's suffering now. So yeah.
If they're going as hard as you are, they're not feeling good. Right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Cam Worth just had a good race at Italy and ran 2:45 off the bike. Of course, times mean nothing in a lot of the other races compared to here, but obviously he has more confidence in his running. He's gotten better as a runner. How do you assess him?
Definitely also somebody you have to have on the list, especially I think his swim was really good in Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a wetsuit swim. It's difficult to say. And his swim is also always a little bit of an up and down, so just like my swim. But yeah, I mean, for him it's also important how the conditions are on the bike. If the conditions gonna be really tough, I think he's definitely somebody to watch out for, even for the podium.
Yes.
But if the conditions are very easy, then I think it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, and for you want the conditions hard too.
Of course. I mean,
the more brutal, the better.
Yeah, for sure. I need some help from
Madame Pele,
other guys in the race, and also also the gods of the island. If I want to have a good chance in this race.
So Patrick Lange is two-time defending champion, 2:39 marathon off the bike, course record 7:52. When you look at him, do you plan on, I've got to get a big lead on him because I don't want him coming up from behind? Or after you have a run like you had at Nice, do you feel like, hey, I can run with anybody?
I would not say that. I would love to have a bigger lead off the bike, but I also know if this is not going to happen, I still have a chance in this race. I think I can run with everybody, but I need to have an absolutely A+ day to be able to beat somebody like him on the run. So it would be nicer to have a little bit of a lead.
What would it mean to you to win this race again?
Mic drop. Out of here.
Would you hang it up?
No, of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I say. I not probably 10 years ago I would have hung it up because I thought what's more to come, right? But I just love the sport, and I just love for it every day. And I think even in this year I realized there's so much more I can improve. So therefore, I would of course not hang it up.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for Mr. Sebastian Kienle. Poncho Man, take us out.
We're gonna swim back and run in the Kona sun. We're gonna swim back and run in the Kona sun and breakfast with Bob.
And Poncho Man. Another round of applause for Poncho Man.